to interview Dr. Moya. For me, it's Dr. Moya. There's Dr.
Srivatsa.
Yes, and he's been a teacher, a pioneer. He's written book. He's created the Moya app, which we want to pitch to the NHS. So anybody out there listening, guys, we are here on a mission. He has various different humanitarian causes, and his mission is to take away tears and turn them into happiness. So he want to give you all the tips to help you, especially for mothers like myself. He really wants you to stop running off to the doctors unnecessarily. So, you know, he has he's done a book, Bring Tears of Happiness. He's dedicated himself to fighting infection of superbugs. And he will tell you a bit more about what he actually do. And I'm sure you'll find it very informative. And we'll be coming on air every week live. And if you have questions, you can email me, you can email him as well, and we'll be able to answer all your questions. You know, we're live, so we want you to share and make comments in the box and just make it, you know, fun, really, and just enjoy your time listening to us. I mean, he's a doctor. Where are you going to get free advice? So make the best of it. Every week we'll be here live. And I'll turn over now to Dr.
Srivatsa. A bit of a problem. Pronunciation.
Yes.
Yeah, hi. People call me Sri. I'm a bug chaser, I call it myself now. As Wendy said, I've been chasing the superbugs. They're spreading all over the world. I started seeing children die with infections which we cannot treat. It was very depressing, basically, Wendy, because after spending hours resuscitating a sick child, I was successful and I said the child is going to be fine. But I had to go back again 3 days later to tell the same mother that the child is going to be dead. It's very easy sometimes to swallow the bad news and get over it. But if you get a happy news and then 3 days later I come with the bad news, it's very, very difficult to deal with that. It's not only difficult for parents but also for people like me, because we believe that we can do a good job with all the equipments and things like that. But now it looks like we are failing. So 10 years ago I started trying to find out how are we going to address this issue. And the only way I can think we can conquer this is by people adopting the method which Wendy said is called Maya. And I hope she's going to ask me some questions about that. And based on her questions, I think I'll answer. So Wendy, what do you want to know about my work, and what are the things? You ask me questions and I'll answer as honestly as possible.
Well, guys, as you know, you hear about our NHS, and you know that the NHS has now becoming, basically unreliable. NHS used to be free for all. And as you all know, it is not the case. It's like a postcode lottery situation now. Not everybody gets treatment. Not everybody, even though it's free on point of use, doctors are holding back. There's cuts in public health. And as you know, especially in deprived areas. And so Dr. Moya been on the forefront, and so he knows what goes on. I mean, for me, I majored in public health, and I do know that in the hospitals you have actually somebody in there who makes decision on who gets treatment and who doesn't, and we doesn't really see that, and patients don't really know that. And so some people are put on a long waiting list, never ever had treatment, die, unfortunately, on the NHS waiting list. And so really this platform, it was a privilege to get a doctor to be able to sit and talk to, because I was interested in what about preventative care, which is what public health is all about. As we all know, public health has gone over to local government. So it is the council who are responsible for public health and not the NHS. And so there's cuts in those areas. As for Dr. Maya, he's created an app, and we would just like to know, what is that app and how would it save the NHS? And I'm going to let him fill you in that.
Yeah, Maya was based on my data which I collected over the years. I looked at what makes a patient anxious to rush to a hospital, book an emergency appointment, consult a doctor in private or public service. This is not only an issue in NHS as such. I've traveled around South Africa, Asia, Europe, and I see the same problem everywhere. Doctors have become more relying on equipments and tests. The basic knowledge of how to examine chest, how to examine ears clinically, and come to a hypothetical diagnosis seems to have disappeared. So the problem now is, it's not only escalating the cost, and NHS rightfully are unable to cope with the amount of money they're spending on this. And my system called Maya, the word is medical advice you access. So why people come to a doctor is basically because they have a symptom which they get worried about. The reason they get worried about is because they Google the name, and the normal tendency of a person is to think about all the rare causes. Causes of a symptom is likely to be common, but as a person who's not trained medically, it is very difficult to differentiate which one is serious and which one is not. That is the basis on which I developed Maya. It only helps you to differentiate between a common illness and a serious illness. Okay. When once the serious illness is there is nothing I can do using this technology. I can just share information which you can read and understand, and if you need to go to the hospital, you need to rush and get the treatment as an emergency if it is emergency. If it is a mild kind of a thing where you need to be consulted, in other words, the doctor have to examine you clinically, then you go to the emergency appointment. Using this technology, I can guarantee that 60% of patients accessing healthcare will be reduced. It helps you because you are not going to the hospital spending 8 to 10 pounds for the car parking, wasting time on journey, polluting the earth with extra fumes from your car, and risking your life. Because when you go to a hospital, you sit in this room, next to you might be somebody who's got a superbug infection. The likely chances of you getting superbug infection is much higher if you have a viral infection. So the idea is to avoid people who are diabetics, who are on immunosuppressive treatment like steroids, who've got skin infections and eczema, who got heart transplants, lung transplants, cancer therapy. These are the people who should not go to hospital as much as possible. Avoid it, because your life is at risk. And using my technology, cost savings will reduce for the healthcare providers, and the doctors will also have more time to concentrate on patients who need to be examined. And I hope I made it clear. Is there anything else you want to?
You're talking about this app, and of course, we would like to know if somebody want to get in touch with you regarding your app, per se, Jeremy Hunt per se, because obviously Facebook, it's a big platform, and we want to take health nationwide, and we want them to know of this superbug. And we know it exists because last week there was a spread in the Daily Mail regarding superbug. Now they might not want to deal with the issue,
Yes.
permanently, but if someone want to get in touch with you about this app, how would they do that? Can you tell them?
I mean, the app is free for download. It's available in both Google Play and Apple's app stores. You can download Dr. Maya, which I'll show you how it happens. And there are links where you can, or you can log on to 7buds.com and send me a message.